Hey, what's up? It's C. Wade here. I hope you're doing well. Today, I just wanted to touch up a little bit on securing your data in the cloud. As you may know, cloud computing and technology is becoming increasingly more popular, in particular with home users who are storing their files in the cloud for the function of accessibility and redundancy. In the instance that you may not want an external source, whether it be an intelligence agency abusing their power or a malicious hacker or individual accessing your data, or even an administrator with malicious intent who has hands-on access to the box that is hosting your data, it just may be in your best interest to encrypt the data so that if in the instance that any of these external sources do intercept your data, they don't intercept the original content or the plain text. It is altered, obfuscated. They will need additional information in order to decrypt the original information. So with that stated, there are some alternative services to Dropbox, SkyDrive, and Google Drive out there that offer cloud file hosting that uses encryption. Namely, mega.co.nz is one of them. They use end-to-end encryption, meaning that your file is encrypted on the client device and is then transferred to the server where it will be stored. And then using your passphrase that you set up with Mega, that is used to generate a key for the individual file. And if any other individual has the key, then they can download that file using the file system API. Mega will decrypt the file and save it to a sandboxed location on the client device. So you have end-to-end encryption in that all of the data that is being transferred is encrypted before it hits the endpoint. So with that stated, you might just want to go check out mega.co.nz. So with that stated, let's go ahead and look at something or a service that is more commonly used by the average user. Dropbox. When we go to Dropbox.com, we can go ahead and download the client. It will download depending, or give you some sort of option depending on what operating system you're on. I'm in Windows in this case. It will download. You can just go ahead and run it, go through the wizard, and then in the lower right hand corner of your desktop near the clock, you will see a new icon with the blue box. That is the icon of Dropbox. If you go ahead and right click on that and select Dropbox folder, it will take you to the Dropbox path on your computer, which in Windows 7 at least is C users username Dropbox. So right now, technically Dropbox and all of these other alternative services, they may encrypt your data on the server, but it's not protected during transfer. So with Dropbox, Google Drive, and SkyDrive, in contrast from Mega, you're not getting end-to-end encryption. But with some tools like TrueCrypt, we can fix that. TrueCrypt is not completely open source, so some skepticism may be warranted. This is a disclaimer. So go ahead and go to truecrypt.org. That's truecrypt.org. Download the setup that's relative to the operating system that you're in. Install it, and you will be presented with a graphical user interface similar to this one. What you're going to do next is go up to Volumes, Create New Volume, and what we're going to do is create an encrypted file container. Do that. Now we have the option of selecting our volume type. We have a standard TrueCrypt volume and a hidden TrueCrypt volume. The latter describes, or it creates a file container that has an outer volume and then a hidden sort of inner volume. The outer volume can be used in the instance that you're being extorted, so we're working with two passphrases here. So you can specify one passphrase to open up the outer volume and show files A, B, and C. And then you can close that out, and then you can specify a different passphrase that is associated with the hidden volume, open that up, and see files D, E, and F. So it's an interesting concept, but for this particular example, we will just select standard TrueCrypt volume. For our volume location, we will go to the Dropbox path, and then we'll just give it a file name. I will say have fun, because if anyone intercepts this, yeah, have fun. Self-explanatory. Encryption algorithm, I'm going to go with 2FISH, and the hash algorithm, SHA-512. We'll hit next. And for your volume size, I would recommend however much space you want to use. I would preferably use as much space as the host would allow you for. The more data encrypted, the merrier. So with Dropbox, in this case for me, it would be 5 gigabytes. But 5 gigabytes would be, it takes a little bit to upload. So I'm not going to do that in this example. I'm going to do 25 megabytes. But for yourself, you may consider using a larger volume size. So for volume password, this is your key phrase that you're going to use to decrypt the volume. So I would recommend, again, a 64-character passphrase, alphanumeric, randomized with some symbols. We could also use key files, which is very interesting. It is an additional digital file that is required to decrypt the volume in addition to your passphrase. So if we go over to TrueCrypt, go over to Tools, Key File Generator, let's go with Whirlpool. Move our mouse around, our cursor around for some entropy. Generate, save this randomized file, and in my documents, I will just call it random. Key file has been successfully created. We could exit out. Go over to Key Files now. Add files. Documents. Random. And here is the random key file that we just generated. We'll hit OK. And then we will hit Next. TrueCrypt is warning me that I'm using a short password that is less than 20 characters. I'm only doing this for convenience. I recommend, as does TrueCrypt, that you use a password that is greater than 20 characters. I personally recommend 64 characters at a minimum. So we will hit Yes. Move our cursor around. Format. And we've just created our TrueCrypt volume. So we could exit out of this, and now we will see over in our Dropbox folder that our 25 megabyte Have Fun file is right here. So I'm going to go hover over Dropbox, and this is uploading at 255 kilobytes a second, so this is going to take about 1 minute to upload. So once the file has synced with Dropbox, we can go ahead and open it up with TrueCrypt, better stated, mount it. So I will go ahead and select the file. We will go to the Dropbox folder, select Have Fun, hit Mount, and now we will enter in our 64-character passphrase, and we need to use the key file that we also associated with our TrueCrypt container. I'll just demonstrate what happens if we don't select the key file. I'll hit OK. Incorrect password or not a TrueCrypt volume. So let's go ahead and enter in our 64-character passphrase with our key file now, which was entitled random. We'll hit OK, and it should have mounted our Have Fun container to a virtual L drive. So we'll go to My Computer, and there is a new local L disk. The folder is empty, so we can go ahead and create a new file. Let's create a new text file. Hello world. Open it up. ABC. Save it. Exit out. We can just go ahead and dismount. And now, if we go back to My Computer, that drive is no longer there. And if we go over to Dropbox, our Have Fun file is still there, but we don't see that Hello World text document that we just created. That is because the Hello World text file exists inside of the Have Fun file, which is basically, you can just look at it as a 25 megabyte hard drive that can only be decrypted with your passphrase and your key file. So that's a hands-on approach to securing your data in the cloud. Check out mega.co.nz. You could use the TrueCrypt approach with Dropbox. It also works with Google Drive. I believe we could open up a Google Drive folder, do the same exact thing, as well as SkyDrive. Open up my, it's called OneDrive now. They renamed it. So yeah, whether it be with Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox, you could use TrueCrypt if you're comfortable with using a not completely open source software to encrypt your partitions. there's any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. I will try my best to answer them. Have a wonderful day.
Millions of Americans are reportedly having their phone records seized without their knowledge.